Today I have Kelly Willenborg with me. She is a gerontologist who runs a really fascinating organization called mymemoryworks.org, which I am going to let her talk more about. But you tested in our Chicago office as a teenager, and you actually reached out to us recently because you want to share your experience with the testing. So why don't you just start by telling me a little bit more about what you do for a career?
Well, thanks for asking. I have gotten in the last probably 16 years, I have segued into working, first of all, with music. I brought music into, was really trying to promote music for regional musicians. And then I did a Woodstock reunion concert, and I kind of felt like that was a bit of a pinnacle to be able to reach that as a small town girl doing some music promotions. But during that particular experience, I had this aha moment of, wow, the beauty of this, all this work that happens for a show really struck me as the most powerful when the music started and I could see it bringing every walk of life together and changing the hurt and the stress and all the things that you could see on their faces, and bringing this practically immediate joy. And I thought, how do I take that element and use it for those that are suffering? And that just really just kind of did a pivot to my direction on using music, and decided to take music, a music intervention, in to work with seniors. I started out with a business degree from St. Louis U, and it with emphasis in human resources. And I did have the luxury of working in that field for a couple of years, and found the owners of that business said, we really like that you're selling our company internally, but we think that you could maybe bring more to the table if you sold externally as a salesperson. So I did that for probably about 13 or 14 years, working for an agribusiness food company. So
Was it really seemed like your music aptitudes had a big impact on you when you first found out about them. And they sort of set you off on this path that you may not have been on or thought about before. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
I came from a family. Two of my three siblings are quite musical. Both were in bands. I am not the one in the family that I would have guessed that there would be any musical aptitude. So that was a big surprise. It first and foremost brought me to aptitudes that I was not suspecting. That was unexpected for me. And then it gave me confidence that this is a professional institution and they're using evidence-based information to tell me what I should be doing. The one, we live in a small community in rural Illinois, and when the information came to me that working in music, whether it be with sales or management or promotions or a non-performing position, is what I was taking from the outcome test or the outcome session. What I understood, I couldn't see the world very big at that time, but I kept that outcome sheet with me, and I carried it around in my training and development file. And I kept thinking, that there's a message here that I need to continue to review and figure it out. And somehow I feel like it all makes sense now today. So my world was very small in a small community in central Illinois. And I thought, okay, well, we've got this one place that sells musical instruments to school bands. And let's see, there might have been one other place that did something related to music, and neither of them were hiring. And I wasn't sure how I was going to make money at those two places that I thought were my only opportunities. But then I started to think, you start thinking broader, because we have more communication pathways that didn't exist the ability to work remotely. So one of the I worked I worked for one company that was placing music into movies and films,
Mm.
uh, Dexter, and a lot of these shows you would have heard of. And I helped them out as an intern. Okay, so you don't have to be 20 years old to be an intern. This was well into probably my mid 30s, and so I worked as an intern to learn about more about this. When our small town added a performing arts venue, I chased them down when the construction phase was going on and said I would, love to be able to work. So I had an opportunity to do season ticket sales and a little bit of marketing. And I'll never forget sitting in the audience for BB King. And it was that same feeling, sitting in the audience and watching what music did to the people after my job was already done. And every time I had that feeling and saw what it was immediately transforming people into a better place, those are the pieces that I've taken into what I'm doing now with the Healing Headsets
Mm.
program. But somebody had to give me the confidence to even to spend the time in the field, and then it perpetuates because it's self-fulfilling, right? If you're doing what it is that you were put on this planet to do, it becomes self-fulfilling, and I can see each time I make small adjustments, um, that I get a little closer to where that real place of contentment is. And again, that place I feel like I've really reached, and that's why I had to connect. But you need to have faith in what your God-given aptitudes are. You need to have faith in it.
Very cool.
I just am thankful for the confidence in Johnson O'Connor, and I wanted to shout your praises every chance I get.
Well, I cannot again thank you enough for reaching out and being willing to talk to us about, your experiences and your feelings about the testing. Like I said, it's such a rewarding thing for me personally, but all of us at the foundation. So we're excited to see what comes next for you, and good luck with my memory works.
Yes, I'm now in 44 states in
Wow,
the US and sending out the free headsets that
incredible.
have people's favorite music, and primarily to people that are dealing with memory loss. And it's been uh, super gratifying. I can't imagine music giving me any more back than what it's giving me now. So thank you for building up the confidence and continuing to do this for the youth today, or anybody, any age. Yeah.